Hello and welcome back to the Bottom Bins podcast. This is episode 3 of our World Cup series. Once again, we just want to thank you all very much for supporting us and listening to the podcasts over the past number of weeks. Also want to announce that you can find us now as well on the Parlay Sports app, where we are early founders, founding members on that app. So come on over and join the football conversation with us on the Parlay Sports app. First off, lads, just going to rattle through this. I want to get your opinions, number one, just on a few of the teams that we've already seen in the World Cup so far. I think the obvious one to start with is England. Looked absolutely fantastic in their opening game against Iran, but definitely struggled in against the USA, went back to that sort of defensive, revertive style of football. Connor, I'll come to you first then. What was your takeaway then from England's first 2 games in this tournament?
Well, the first game, they were obviously unbelievable. That blew Iran away, but as we mentioned last week in the podcast, but this week they were very poor, lethargic. Harry Maguire was probably their best player, and he's centre back, so I think that says it all. I don't know. Gareth Southgate, just sometimes you just think like, what's he at? Because even after the game, he was very positive about the performance, and you're thinking to yourself, they were terrible. They got booed off the pitch, and he seemed to be happy with the draw. In the context of things, a draw is not the worst result, but the performance was very poor. And I just thought, I couldn't believe Mason Mount played 90 minutes. I thought he was poor. And I can't believe Phil Foden can't get a game.
Yeah.
Because he has been outstanding for City this season, but he can't get in that team. And you've boys like Sterling there have been very poor. And Kane, I thought, I could understand why they didn't throw like somebody like Callum Wilson on last 10 minutes, or I know they threw Rashford on, and Henderson in midfield. I just couldn't understand that they're taking off Bellingham, who was unbelievable the first game. I know he probably wasn't playing as well in the second game, but you don't take off your best players.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Gareth Southgate's really holding them back, and I think this is what's going to happen there.
Oh, and obviously, I think, the obvious thing with England is you'd rather get those bad games out of the way in the group stage, really, and at the end of the day they still got a point. But would you be concerned about England moving forward in the tournament?
Yeah, I am concerned with them. Look, like you say, at the end they got a point and they're all but free basically, unless Gareth Bale goes in a mad one tomorrow, like isn't really going to happen. So they're all but through, so in that aspect of it they're going to be have to be happy. But I was so unimpressed with them watching them against America on Saturday night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They just, as Connor said, they were slow, lethargic. They didn't look like they wanted to win. America were up for it. The only chances in the game were created by America. Pulisic hitting the post. Winston McKennie definitely should have scored. They're great. They're good against Iran. They're positive against Iran, but they just didn't look at it in that game. Like, you're bringing on, you need a goal to win a game, and you're bringing on Jordan Henderson centre mid for Jude Bellingham. Explain that decision to me. Is that a decision? That's the manager's almost like, not I want to win this game. It's I really don't want to lose this game.
He was happy with a point.
Which, in your second game of a World Cup, isn't the way to go for it. When your team like England, whose fans expect them to win the World Cup, that's as simple as that. I don't think they will. I'd be surprised if they're playing the World Cup quarterfinals, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what way they draw. I think they play whoever finishes second.
Ecuador,
the group, or
Holland.
Ecuador, or the Netherlands, or Senegal, whoever comes through that group.
Yeah.
And I've been a lot more impressed with what I've seen from Ecuador than what I've seen from England.
Yeah.
I'd be fearful of them in the last 16 games if they keep playing the way they are. Like, obviously they go out and blow Wales out of the water tomorrow and everybody's happy again, but you're looking on social media and people want rid of Southgate 2 games into a major tournament. Like, that kind of says it all, really.
And obviously England fans, there's been a big outcry over the past number of years. A lot of people not that happy with Southgate, especially after the European final a couple of years ago. What's your overall verdict then, do you reckon, of Southgate's time in charge of England? Do you reckon this is realistically his last tournament and it's time for a change?
Well, I think his decisions speak for themselves. I seen on Sky Sports today that decision to bring on Henderson is going to be Henderson's going to be starting over Jude Bellingham tomorrow, apparently, according to Sky Sports.
Madness.
Which, it's madness. It's crazy. But I don't know. England, in my opinion, are a team that should be doing well, but they think they should be doing better than they should be doing. I think any manager who comes into that squad, and I'm happy for the fans because they think, I would love to go into any tournament as an Ireland fan and be like, we're going to win the World Cup, we're going to win the Euros or whatever. But you need to be realistic, and I think England need to be realistic about their chances. They rode their luck in the Euros and they rode their luck in the 2018 World Cup, and they could well ride their luck this time. But I don't know. I just think Gareth Southgate, he was sacked by Middlesbrough for a reason.
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
get sacked by Middlesbrough and then become the England manager?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a
It
bit of a
doesn't make
yes
sense
man.
to
Like,
me.
Sure, did you see the tweet that was out there that showed the teams England had beaten in the World Cups
Yeah.
against Millennium?
Yeah.
oh,
And there was
terrible.
nobody
Yeah.
that you'd sit back and go, that's a statement to win.
Yeah.
The teams that were beaten were likes of Sweden's, Colombia's,
Ukraine.
Trinidad, Tobago, these types of teams.
Yeah.
I don't mean no disrespect to them, but they're not beating France. They're not beating Spain, Germany, Brazil, Argentina.
Yeah.
They're not beating the big dogs, as
Yeah.
you'd say. So where's the progress for England?
Yeah,
It's
well,
not there.
Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to even Gareth Southgate as a manager. I just think any manager that was going to come into that England team wasn't going to do well. Like, if the golden generation wasn't winning something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how do they
yeah.
expect this team to win something? And
It probably is the best team they've had in a while, though. I think this team is decent.
I wouldn't even say it is.
I think it's a good
No,
team.
I think
think
they've good
it's-
individual players, but not one of them has. It's not a team.
But is
at
that not
all,
down
like.
to Southgate then? Is he not?
I wouldn't say so. Like, I
think
don't know.
I think it's just he plays terrible football.
England have always
What
had
team would you say is
quality
better than
players.
this team?
In the World Cup,
Yeah.
I think it's I don't think England should win the World Cup. The fans are out there like in that kind of way, but I think they do have some very exciting young players. Like taking Bellingham off is just
Look, they are ranked
Crazy.
third or fourth in
Yeah.
the world rankings. Like, you know, it's not
they
as
are
if
a
they're
good team. Like.
they're no slouches. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they are a decent side. But I do agree with you. Like, they do get, but it's all the English media. Like,
It's-
Yeah,
it's-
they
overhype
and
them
we're
too much.
subject to it here, and it's always overhyping.
yeah. And don't get me wrong, I do think they're a good side. I do think they're deserving of that in that top 5 bracket international teams in the world, because I think their team on paper is absolutely class. I think the only thing they miss is a world class centre back. But I think if they had a world class centre back, they'd be 100%.
I think they've too many good players in the exact same position.
Yeah, full of
So
right,
they can't
full
do
of right
anything
backs.
with it. Full of right backs, full of midfielders. They can't do anything.
Yeah,
Like, all their best players are probably right backs. Sure, there's only one right back on the team. Do you know what I mean? Like,
But like Phil Foden's like one of the best young players in the world, and
But he doesn't like him.
He doesn't
Yeah.
play him, which
so he's
is
not going
just.
to play him.
But that's what I'm saying. That's down to Gareth Southgate. If you had a different manager in there, he'd definitely be playing. He's
Oh.
playing boys like Mason Mount who aren't even in form,
Mm-hmm.
and he's getting the whole 90 minutes. It's just madness to me.
He's average.
but
Yeah.
back to what I was saying there, like I wouldn't consider England the top 5-6 teams at this World Cup, just even on paper. I know they are third or fourth in the world, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
those world rankings, you always have to take them with a pinch of salt because it's like who played who in qualifying
Yeah.
and all that. Like,
Like,
I
look
know
at
that.
Belgium. What are
Belgium's
Belgium
good
second?
Belgium's second in the world, and look how poor
Aye,
they've
they're
been at this
poor,
World Cup.
yeah.
Oh, they are
Poor in general at major tournaments.
Yeah.
Look, I think England will still go out and beat Ecuador. I thought is who they play.
Uh-huh.
And they'll put up a good match to the Netherlands because they haven't looked like anything much this World Cup
No.
as well.
But
Yeah.
to play
Um,
France maybe in the quarters, that'll be a step too far.
France in the quarters could be a step too far. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I do think that the squad, even though it's not as good as I think people think it is, I do think they have the ability to ride their luck again. But then again, you have to question. It would be 3 tournaments in a row that they're riding their luck.
Yeah.
I
Is it
don't know.
not?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think England's a good team,
No, I'm not.
and I don't think
haven't-
Southgate's there for it.
I haven't been impressed with them at all.
But I don't know who comes in if Southgate does go. Like, everybody's saying after 2 games Southgate's to go, but it's not after 2 games. It's after the Nations League, which was majorly disappointing.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
poor.
No,
They've only-
people are looking Southgate gone.
They only have
Today,
Yeah.
they only have
which isn't
one.
gonna happen.
They only have one win in their last 8 competitive games.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like, that's poor.
But who do they bring in?
Stephen Kenny.
Tuchel, maybe?
Tuchel.
I know, but I don't know. Like, what man? I just don't think that team gels, and I know it does. It's going to take a manager to bring them in and get the team spirit going. But sure, all you see on England's social media pages is them
Having a
dossing about and
Nice.
having the crack and doing
Jumping in the
crossbar
swimming
challenges
pools
and
and
all
all,
this
yeah.
here and big mates this and sure. After, do you remember when we played City a couple of years ago when Harry Maguire was over hugging John Stones and all, like best mates after we got beat by City? Okay, I don't know. England's England.
The type
They're
of thing,
never
the
gonna
type of thing
change.
England do is if they do get rid of Southgate, they'll go get somebody like Gerrard or somebody
Aye.
to try and change this
Yeah.
culture and get them to look up to it, but it's not going to work.
They need to scrap the whole idea of going for legends and stuff like
Yeah.
that there, and England players, former England
Mhm.
players. Go and get a good manager.
Yeah.
Don't bring in Gareth Southgate, who was he interim manager? at
Yeah, he came in
Spurs or
with Sam
something?
Allardyce
Aye.
when that happened.
Sam-
Yeah.
Like,
Zach,
Yeah.
Big Sam's a great manager. Obviously, what happened? He gets sacked. Big up Big Sam.
chugging pints away and pints of gravy.
But I don't know. They could have brought in a better caliber of manager than
Aye,
the
but he-
under-21s
See,
coach.
he done well though, didn't he?
Yeah, but even then, though, could you imagine Big Sam managing England now? Like, it would be laughable. Like, do you know what I mean?
I think it would be better than Gareth Southgate. He's a
Oh.
better
Oh,
manager.
I think he'd have played
I don't know,
similar
lads.
way.
Come on,
Yeah.
look at the caliber of manager of Sam Allardyce. and
No,
the
we're not
caliber
arguing
of
that, but I
manager
just
of
think
Gareth Southgate.
I don't think it would have ended well either.
Yeah,
'cause
but
the
Big
fans would have got on him.
Big Sam's a relegation battle
Yeah.
No,
manager.
I'm not,
you know.
I'm not saying it would have ended well, but come on. Gareth Southgate or Sam Allardyce, it's an easy choice.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, the only thing I would say about Southgate is like he sort of has the pedigree now to back it up. He's been to a European final. He's been to a World Cup semi-final. Like, he could probably lord that over a lot of other managers.
That's the thing. He's getting linked to like Premier League jobs and all.
He was linked to United before.
He probably will get a.
United.
I
Yeah.
think he will get a Premier League job.
He probably will get a Premier League job.
No, he will. He definitely
100%
will.
he will.
His resume looks great, and I know it's probably a wee bit of bitterness and stuff is coming out here, but I look at it with England. The one decent win I would say they've had in Southgate's tenure now is the win against Germany.
Germany.
Denmark maybe semi-final.
They're very poor against Denmark. Like, they didn't deserve to
Still
beat
won the game,
Denmark.
though.
I know they still did, but
They should have beat
Just
Italy.
about.
They should have beat
just
like,
about. And
oh.
like,
Yeah.
I don't think there was never a penalty in extra time of that game. But they just haven't done it in the world stage properly. Like, yes, I know they've been deep in tournaments, but looking at the 2018 World Cup, they played 6 games and they lost 3.
Yeah.
Like, is that world class caliber team losing 3 games in the World Cup?
No, it's probably not. Like,
Did they lose 3?
They did. Lost to Belgium twice and they lost to Croatia.
Didn't play Belgium twice.
They did in the third place playoff.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Counting that.
Oh, they were a bit. Well, anyway, look, we're moving on from England. We'll go to a team that has impressed then, France. Oh. Where'd that come from?
Don't know. They broke the curse anyway, that's for sure.
No, but in all seriousness, like,
Mbappe.
no Pogba, no Kante. I really, really thought France were going to struggle in that midfield department.
I was really impressed with them against Denmark. A team that's beaten them twice in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And Denmark really didn't get a sniff in that game. Like, France just ran the show. Mbappe has been
Unbelievable.
fantastic.
Yeah, unreal.
Yeah, he's
Mbappe.
joint top goal scorer after 2 games.
Kylian Mbappe.
I think Mbappe scored 7 World Cup goals.
Yeah, he's equalled Messi's record.
Yeah, same as Messi.
Yeah.
When Messi scored yesterday, so 1 behind Messi now.
Yeah,
At the age of 23.
23, yeah.
Like, Mbappe, you're looking at, if he stays fit, is obviously must have close in the sights.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
Mbappe
definitely.
probably scored at least 2 or 3 more goals this World Cup, so he'd be looking at maybe 9 or 10 goals already after 2 World Cups.
After 2, yeah.
Like, that's unheard of at the age he is.
Say it'd be serious scoring. Look, he has. I hate to say it because I don't like him,
No.
and I don't like Mbappe, but I can't sit here and like have a go at him as a player because he's a good footballer. I mean, look, I always thought he was overrated, to be honest. I always thought he was just a pace merchant, but
Yeah.
there is a player there. But the one player from France I've been extremely impressed with so far is Tchouaméni.
Unreal.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, class.
I can't get over how good he is.
Unreal.
Unbelievable.
But look at the injuries France have had and haven't taken a step back.
Yeah.
Even since the World Cup started, they lost Benzema, they lost Nkunku, they lost Lucas Hernandez the first game.
Yeah,
Haven't taken a step back. Lucas Hernandez comes out, his brother goes in. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Gets an assist against Denmark there. Like,
yeah.
Like, you can't. There isn't, like, we were talking maybe in the preview there about France's midfield a wee bit lacking, but with Pogba and Kante, but you said Tchouaméni's come in there and they haven't missed a beat.
Even
Well,
Rabiot's playing.
even
unreal.
Rabiot,
Yeah,
as you
Rabiot's
said,
playing
Rabiot's
unreal
playing
too. But I mean, Tchouaméni literally looks like the best parts of Kante and the best parts of Pogba rolled into one player.
Like, where's France's weak link at the minute?
Don't have one.
I don't think they have one.
Exactly.
Like even look at their centre back choice. So many centre backs.
Yeah.
Top quality.
And they're
centre-backs,
all
like,
top quality,
Like Varane
exactly.
comes in, plays really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just have so much choice. Like
I'm glad to see Ousmane Dembele playing well too.
He's playing
Yeah,
very well.
his play is very, very good. And Giroud.
Drew in the first game, yeah, 2 goals.
Who else?
Yeah.
But even the odd against Denmark, I know he didn't score, but he was an absolute nuisance.
Yeah.
Like,
He always is. He mightn't win the ball, but he'll make sure the man marking him doesn't win it clean either.
yeah,
Yeah.
He'll make stuff happen in the box.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple of times he made runs, the ball didn't go through them or whatever. He had a couple of half chances.
Yeah.
But he's integral to the way that France team works. Like, Deschamps likes him.
yeah,
Oh, he loves him.
Like, he didn't score in the last World Cup.
Yeah.
I didn't think he had a shot on target at the last World Cup, but he started every game.
Mm-hmm.
So he offers something different to France.
Well, he does. I think he offers something different to any other of those French strikers because, yes, he's not mobile, but the one thing you get with Giroud is he's normally in the right position and he's a bully.
Yeah.
He absolutely bullies defenders. I love strikers that do that. That
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
take on two centre backs and just throw them about. Like, and that's what Giroud's really, really good at.
And Mbappe loves playing with him.
And Mbappe, yeah, like
That's what they were saying before the World Cup. They were like, will Benzema start? Because Mbappe wants Giroud starting
Giroud
with
to
him.
play with
He
him.
does all that hard work.
Yeah,
Gets the hold up.
You were talking
playing
about
stuff.
Mbappe being, you said you just thought he's a pace merchant.
Yeah.
See his pace. There's one time a ball was played forward. I think it might have been Pavard or something, just hoofed it forward, whatever.
Yeah.
And there was no right in the world killing Mbappe to get near it.
Yeah.
And he just took off.
yeah.
And he waited. Like,
He has improved at all aspects as well.
Was it Christensen he done it too, where he took like one step back out and just
and he made
turned
it
And turned.
Oh,
and
he's
just
class,
turned.
yeah.
Like the ball was nowhere near him. That's the fact he has in professional football.
Yeah.
He can just make them fall over just for the crack. Like.
Even against Australia, like his ball to Giroud was unbelievable.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Do you know the
Playing
only
that
reason
1-2
I
as well.
ever thought he was overrated? Like, genuine, like, see, every time PSG have played United in the Champions League,
He
he's
was
been
fair.
terrible.
I know.
He has been absolutely brutal.
Tanzania
And like
or whatever,
some of the boys he was playing against, I was thinking to myself, like,
Tanzania.
right, well, you're not that good. Like, if
Why is this doing Zabi? He's actually class. Like. He's our best centre back in fit one.
After that game, I was like, Tanzania is going to be a world class
Yeah.
centre back.
no, but I did. I genuinely used to think to myself, like, if you can't beat Tuanzebe, if you can't beat like Fosu Mensah and boys like that, like, because that's who you played against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought he was just overrated, but
for France, he's just a completely
just a different animal.
He
Yeah,
always changes my opinion on him in
World
European
Cups.
in international competitions. Like I feel the same as you. I always see, and I'm sure you boys are the same. You see all the stories about Mbappe and PSG and all the drama that comes with him and the baggage that comes with him.
Yeah.
But you also see every other day he scored 2 goals, he scored 1
I
goal,
know.
he's got 2 assists, he's got 3 assists. His numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then, like obviously we don't watch League on week in, week out. We would see
Yeah.
PSG in the Champions League and stuff like that. But we would see all of France's games in the European Championships and in the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you really see Kylian Mbappe.
That's
That's
what I
when
was
we
gonna
see Mbappe.
That's what I was going to say. Though, the
He's
league,
insane.
do you take the league seriously? You know, that League One?
Mm-hmm.
It's like people just don't take it as serious.
No.
It's not televised as much. That's why people want them to go to Madrid to really step up. And in the Champions League, PSG have really disappointed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
so
I think he'll win it this year though.
they could.
They
For
could.
France, he's just unbelievable.
Mhm,
though.
I think it will.
He is.
like we talk about Giroud is now level with Henry as France's top goal scorer.
yeah.
Mbappe's like 20 goals behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he'll catch.
23.
Mm-hmm.
Like
He's
Mbappe
like-
is going to smash that.
I know.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, obviously, if he stays injury free, he should do. No reason why he shouldn't. Like,
And then Anthony Martial is gonna smash that.
Yeah, don't know.
Moussa Dembele going to come in there as well.
well, but people don't know, but like, you know, Martial's going to win the Ballon d'Or this year, to be
Yeah.
honest. So.
Monaco will be
Monaco's-
rubbing their hands.
But anyway, look, I'll move it on from France. Go to another impressive team, Brazil. Typical Brazil.
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah.
agree? Just looking
Look at their
good.
squad.
They've even got the regen R9 up front as well.
Yeah, he looked class.
Richarlison looking very good at the minute. Tell you what that goal has to be one of the goals of the World Cup.
That is the
Insane.
best goal of the World Cup.
It's similar to what we're talking about there a wee bit of Mbappe, but to a greater extent.
Yeah.
Richarlison for Brazil is a completely
Different animal, yeah.
Richarlison with Tottenham.
Yeah.
Because Richarlison has been very poor for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Like on form, you're looking at their Jesus should be starting ahead of him. Firmino should be starting ahead of him. He isn't even there.
Yeah.
But for Brazil, he's just completely different.
Do you know what? I disagree. I don't think he's been bad for Tottenham.
Like
He's
it's
been
injuries.
injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he's played for Tottenham, even if he hasn't got the goals, he's been an absolute menace up
But-
front.
Like even for Everton, he was a good player.
Yeah, he was
Like
class.
he was a nightmare to
Yeah.
deal with.
I'm raging United didn't go in for him.
I think.
60 million. That's a baller there. Like I don't know. I am raging we didn't go in for him.
Brazil's squad though is crazy strong.
Ah,
Like,
it's-
look at their bench, like Anthony, Martinelli coming off the bench, Gabriel Jesus. Like,
Oh, it's
my-
serious?
I know
Like
Neymar's
the-
injured now, but they're still got so much quality. Then have Fred now in. Number
Baller,
10, absolute baller.
But like with
Playing at the minute, balling out.
with Neymar injured, their front three today is Vinicius Junior, Richarlison, Rafinha.
It's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
And then Casemiro in midfield has been unbelievable for them too.
They've
Called
got
him as player of the
they've
tournament.
got as
He could be.
Mhm.
Could be.
the front three on the bench is Jesus, Martinelli, and Anthony.
Oh my god.
Like,
See
if
how
that front
attacking-
three had any
Martinelli
other
when he
World
came
Cup-
on the other day was
I know.
unreal.
But like how attacking though as well, how many attacking players they had on. Like Casemiro is vital.
The only thing I
Brilliant.
would say about them, like obviously they've got the quality. I love that they're so direct. Once they get the ball, they go straight forward. But I noticed in that game the other day, whenever they get, especially when the wingers get to the edge of the box, I know there's a lack of height for Brazil, but every single ball was hit low and not necessarily hard. So I know they're keeping their samba traditions and stuff like that there.
Yeah.
But I think they're a bit lackluster with chances because they had a lot of chances
Do you think
to make goal scoring opportunities, but I think they need to work the ball a bit better in the final third.
Do you think if they went like a goal down, they haven't got that threat, that aerial threat?
I wouldn't. Well, maybe not the aerial threat, but I think if they went to goal down, they'd still come back and pump a team.
Yeah.
I think they are the best club, or the best international team in the world, and their depth says that. Even look at the players that they have at home, like you were saying about Firmino and stuff.
Yeah.
The players that they have left at home, let alone the players in the Brazilian league, who the Brazilian managers like to go for. You
Yeah.
know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I don't know. I just think Brazil's the real deal now.
Yeah.
And it's good to see it.
Yeah, they are.
That
They're a
is
very
fun.
good team.
They're fun to watch.
The only thing that can go against Brazil is the pressure of Brazil at the World Cup. It's completely different animal over there. A World Cup, nothing matters but the World Cup over there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
talking about Neymar, it doesn't matter. See if the rest of his career he wins 6 Champions Leagues and scores 18 goals in all those finals.
Yeah.
Brazilian people won't care if he hasn't won a World Cup.
World Cup. Yeah.
And that pressure can be massive for Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's like Messi, isn't it, with Argentina?
I think the thing even that Neymar brings them, he is a leader on the pitch. So not having him on the pitch for I don't know how long it's going to be with his ankle realistically, but
Could be a while.
he says he'll be fit to play at some stage in this tournament. But he will be a big miss out in the field for him. He is their leader at the end of the
He
day.
is the talisman of that
Yeah.
team. Like,
But even then, it's like we were saying, their depth's just that strong that
yeah.
they'll probably not miss him all that much.
They'll miss him a lot less now than they did in 2014 when he was injured for that semi-final against Germany.
Yeah. No, their squad's just ridiculous. Like, they are just so good. Right, so I'll go. We've done one underachiever and two, well, expected achievers. So I'll go to a bit of a mixed bag here. Argentina.
Disappointing.
Haven't been impressed.
No.
Disappointing.
I've
From
not
all the
been
hype, like even from our preview show, we were talking about Argentina's making it to the final, Argentina's winning it and stuff like this here,
Yeah.
Messi fairy tale all this year, but it's just hasn't worked.
Even
the
against
way we
Mexico,
thought
they
it would.
were disappointing.
Yeah.
They were poor.
Didn't play that great.
Mexico didn't want to play against them. Mexico were the low black, keep them out. And I know that they got the goal. It was a good goal from Messi, and then Enzo Fernandez, great finish.
Yeah, it was good goal.
They
Great
finished
goal.
it up, but they looked devoid of ideas. They just have looked generally lethargic and poor throughout the whole thing.
I think they're very like England. They've
Yeah.
all the players, but no team gel.
Can't get the pieces together.
Yeah.
Well, they actually looked a lot better when they went to a 5 at the back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's when they started to dominate the game. And funny, some teams, when they're in the middle of a tournament, end up finding the best shape for them. I think the best shape for Argentina is a 5 at the back. Because when they brought Romero on, and they had Martinez on the left, Romero on the right, and then Otamendi down the middle, they just looked a lot more comfortable. And when they brought Enzo Fernandez on in the middle of the park as well, that's when the game opened up for them. That's when they were able to create those chances. But the only problem I would say with Argentina is when you're on the ball, you have 11 men. When you're off the ball, you're 10 men, because you have to make up for Messi. Because Messi's not putting in any defensive work whatsoever. Like,
Even the goal against Saudi Arabia, when he gave it away, just got countered.
and look, he's one of the best players of all time. Like, he doesn't have to do the defensive work realistically, and he is at a point in his career where he can't do the same thing over and over again anymore. He can't track back like he used to. But that's the only thing that worries me about sides like Argentina. Like, you are compensating for a lack of a player in defensive transition, and I think that, especially against Saudi Arabia, that left them open to concede.
Yeah, they were open.
But Argentina in World Cups have a track record of losing stupid games that they shouldn't lose. Like, they've lost to teams like Cameroon and stuff really early in tournaments when it's teams they should be beating. The thing about the game against Saudi Arabia, I've actually been impressed with Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Well, they're very good.
We
against
said it
Poland
Yeah,
as well.
they look good.
Like, I know they got beat by Poland there during the week, but
They look
they
good.
couldn't finish their chances. They're like Celtic in the Champions League. They're fantastic until the last 18 yards. They couldn't put the ball in the net.
Chesney's double save was unbelievable.
Oh,
it was
fantastic.
I was watching with my
It was
dad,
unreal.
and he was going yapping about the Saudi Arabian play, and it's like, give Chesney a bit of credit.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until he seen the replay that he realised Chesney had actually
Saved the
saved
two.
rebound
Yeah.
there, and he just thought it was outrageous.
It was.
And Chelsea's done that before. I remember 2012, Arsenal played Liverpool, and he done it against Cout, the double penalty save.
All right.
Okay. But
Do you know what's interesting? Just to go back to Argentina, I mind seeing a tweet. You know the way club or international teams had like a couple of friendlies before the World Cup
Yeah.
happened. I remember seeing a tweet, and it was when Rodrigo de Paul got injured, and it was this fella AFC Ajax on Twitter. He's called the European lad or something, and he like follows all the games. And as soon as Rodrigo de Paul got injured, his first tweet was, "This is going to be a completely different Argentina team now in this World Cup." And look, I don't know a lot about Argentina, but they've missed him.
Well, he's been playing.
Has he?
He's
Yeah.
playing.
And he's
yeah.
not good.
And he's not playing
I
well?
thought the argument you were going to make was the teams that played prior to the World Cup, because they were playing like friendlies against like Estonia and all. They hadn't really
Aye.
beat. I know they beat
yeah,
Italy,
yeah.
but Italy aren't even at the World Cup.
No.
So I thought you were going to argue that one, because there were 36 games unbeaten, which is unbelievable.
Mhm.
But like some of the teams that were playing before the World Cup, they weren't beating any top European nations really. So
No, well, I'm glad you brought up Rodrigo de Paul, to be honest, because I've seen it all over social media, like people putting up photos of him being like, what does this guy actually do well?
Yeah, I seen that
Messi's
too.
bodyguard. But
Like, he's a centre midfielder, but he doesn't pass the ball well. He doesn't run with the ball well. I don't know what he does well, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
and obviously, like, I've never seen him play football before. I only know him because of FIFA. And like every year, he would get like a consistent amount of informs when he played for Udinese. But like Atletico Madrid fans would all
He's
say the
high-rated
same
on
thing.
FIFA.
No, but Atletico
I know,
Madrid
I know,
fans
I know.
all say the same thing. They don't know what the guy does well. He's poor, to be honest. And every time the 2 games I've watched him in the World Cup, he has been absolutely atrocious.
Well, Enzo Fernandez will probably slot into that midfield now.
definitely.
Like.
He's
Yeah, good.
he's much better than Rodrigo de Paul.
And
Like.
he's having a good season in Portugal too.
Yeah,
He is,
he
yeah.
is. He is. He would be definitely a good pickup. Well, the only thing is he did only sign for Benfica in the summer, but he would be a good pickup for a Premier League side.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
He's very, very good.
Benfica-
Right. So, no, go on ahead. Sorry.
No, I
Ewan.
was just going to say Benfica have a really good track record of
Development talents.
development
players.
talents, especially South American talent.
Yeah, and then just shipping them on
And shipping them
for
off for big money.
for big money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say he will be the next in that line.
Yeah,
to be
the likes
honest.
of Darwin Núñez, David Luiz.
Darwin.
Knew that was coming.
Yeah, so I'll flip it on then to another one of the big boys then. Well, I think because they're in the same group, we can talk about both of them, and they did just play last night. So Germany and Spain. What have you made of both those sides so far, Connor? I'll go to you first with Spain because you were back in the big time.
Yeah,
lad.
they obviously destroyed Costa Rica, like just absolutely swarmed them. I've actually been impressed because I was worried. I had wrote a piece on this. I said they might struggle striker, but Morata 2 goals, 2 games.
Yeah,
It's not bad, and your boy Olmo has been.
yeah, he's
Brilliant.
He's really good.
Danny
last
He
night.
is
He's
really
very,
good.
very
And
good.
I said as well, the reason I was back in Spain is because I think they have the best manager at the World Cup, Luis Enrique.
Enrique.
I think he's unbelievable, and he's just high press. We're going to get on top of you. I thought last night they didn't play great in the second half, but I'm still backing them. And Gavi has been brilliant. Pedri's been brilliant. I know Costa Rica is not a great side, but they did beat Japan.
Yeah, they did, to
So
be fair.
I think Spain will top that group, and I think they're going to be very hard to beat as it goes on.
No, they definitely. I think the one thing you'll always say about Spain, and they'll never struggle to do it, is they don't struggle to dominate games. Would you agree with that one?
They controlled the tempo of the game completely last night. It was about the last 15 minutes or so it took for Germany to really get it.
to kick in.
That was them needing a result, or they were in big trouble.
Yeah.
Even a point isn't great for Germany.
Yeah.
But Spain have been really impressed with them. Like I know it was only Costa Rica, but Costa Rica is another team that has a track record of
Turning
upsets.
the
hard to
big
beat.
teams over,
They
yeah.
beat Japan
Yeah.
2 hours before, or a couple hours before that game
Yeah.
yesterday. Like, so if you beat in today's modern football and climate, you beat any international side 7-0 at a World Cup, you're going well.
Yeah.
And like as the old saying is, you can beat this out in front of you.
Yeah.
And Spain beat them well.
Well, yeah.
And they probably should have beat Germany last night. They were by far the better team.
Well, look, in all honesty, Owen, I'll come to you on this. When the 2 number 9s both come on yesterday, the game definitely opened up a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would it not just sort of highlight the need for class number 9s within the game. Then
Well, we said straight away, was it, what do you call that fella, Fulcrum?
Fulcrum,
yeah.
When he scored, we said straight away, why is that fella not starting?
Yeah.
Why is he not starting? He's an out-and-out number 9. He's clearly...
And it was a great finish.
Oh, great finish.
Oh,
he's been the best player in the Bundesliga this year.
Oh, he's been
So now
fantastic.
he's like 10 goals for Werder Bremen.
For
or something.
Bremen, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand this obsession with Kai Havertz. We've talked about
No.
Kai Havertz a lot in this podcast, and Connor's looking at me with a cheeky grin.
I'm not a big fan of him either, boys. I'm not a big fan.
Because well, obviously we all know that Richie doesn't like Kai Havertz.
I'd agree with you though.
Useless,
I think he's very overrated.
And I understand that. And that's why I would say it's an obsession with Kai Havertz
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the German national team. Hansi Flick, I don't know why he thinks, an underperforming centre attack midfielder, yeah, he can do it up front.
Yeah.
How's that going to work when you've got an out-and-out number 9 who, as we said, has probably been the best player in the Bundesliga, scoring goals for fun, at Werder Bremen?
Yeah.
It's not as if it's one of the big boys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not one of the big boys. So he's not exactly playing all the weaker teams and scoring all these goals.
No.
He's playing for Werder Bremen. He's doing the hard yards and scoring the goals. Why are you not trusting an out-and-out number 9 who's obviously clinical?
Because
Doesn't
even
make sense.
Muller's obviously a great player and all, but even he struggled yesterday when he
Yeah.
played that position because he was in from the start. And
Subs changed the game yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought
He
the
did,
first half wasn't a great game, to tell you the truth.
No.
But, don't get me wrong, I thought Dani Olmo played absolutely phenomenal for Spain
Yeah.
yesterday.
Class.
And he always does play well for Spain, to be
Yeah,
fair.
he's very
Yeah.
good.
That's why he's always linked with the top clubs, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until the likes of Morata came on, like Ferran Torres was on up front.
Oh, he's
And
brilliant.
the amount
he
of
was
chances he
He
missed.
was burnt.
He's
See, that's the
very
problem with Spain. The other thing I'd worry about Spain is like Rodri centre back. I didn't like it.
But see, I think that was done for a reason. I think Rodri played centre back because Muller was playing up
Yeah.
front,
Yeah.
and I'd say it's because Rodri's that natural defensive midfielder. He understands the pockets that
know,
Muller's
but
probably going to
there was
pop
even
up
like
in.
a cross came in one time and he like waited on it. And
Yeah.
he was so lucky that the striker should have been in there. And I worry about his positioning. But as you say, maybe he'll not start there every game. But
Well, look, if we look at the youngsters on both the sides yesterday, so it was the battle of the midfielders yesterday, really. You had Pedri and Gavi up against Musiala. Who impressed you the most?
Well, just to go back, I'm sorry to go back, when we were talking about Rodri there in centre half, I think that's where they missed Sergio Ramos and his experience.
he could have been good in there, yeah.
But sorry, yes, to go to the midfielders, Musiala played brilliant.
Yeah, he's a good
He was
footballer,
class.
He's a
isn't he?
great footballer, and you've seen all over the ITV coverage with Roy Keane. They were talking about how Musiala rejected England to play for Germany and
Yeah.
stuff, and obviously he was talking about Grealish and Rice and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. Like,
Would he get into that current England side, do you reckon?
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Well, Gareth
100%.
Southgate,
You'd,
you never know.
you'd like to think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gareth might bench him.
I think he'd walk into it. He's
Even against
Who would you drop out of that? Who would you drop out of that squad then to
Mason
put
Mount.
Musiala?
Mason
Yeah,
Mount.
Mason
Oh,
Mount.
yeah.
Yeah,
But see, even against Japan, he played well.
yeah.
He was one of
Yeah.
their better players. Seen him on the watch. He was good.
No,
Who's
he
that,
is. he's-
Musiala?
Musiala.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
he
one
is.
of the-
He should have scored it though, the Fulcrum.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
for the
yeah,
one
that's
goal,
right,
yeah.
yes.
But look, that's just youth. That's just
Yeah.
inexperience.
There was one time he won a free, and I think he was in between. Was it Gavi and Pedro?
Yeah.
And just right foot, left foot, right foot, left
Yeah.
foot, cut in between the two of them,
Nice.
cut them apart before he got fouled. Like,
Nice, special
very,
player.
very good.
He's one of
Special
them
player.
players. Like, whenever these young talents come through, like we're seeing it with Garnacho now, like it's as if Musiala hasn't been coached. He's still just got that raw, natural ability,
Yeah.
It's exciting.
and that mentality to go forward and drive at men every time, and,
Yeah.
and use some skills, not be afraid to use his skills
he's
and stuff.
just out there play football.
He's out there-
as if he's
As if he's playing with boys.
out in the park.
Yeah.
playing
Yeah,
football.
as if
Yeah.
he's playing
Just
with boys,
exciting.
and you can see that in
Yeah.
his game.
Yeah.
Whereas you see other youngsters and talents of the past, like Yuri Tielemans had probably the biggest potential out of any midfielder in the last decade or so, like before the likes of Gavi and stuff. And don't get me wrong, he has somewhat lived up to that potential, but I think if he had kept that raw ability, and I think if he had stayed at Anderlecht one more season maybe, just to get that bit more professional experience under his belt, he would have been a lot better than he is now. So I just hope the likes of Musiala, Gavi and Pedri don't become
Overcoached kind of thing.
overcoached
Yeah.
and develop this style under one manager
Yeah.
and keep to their own playing style,
Yeah.
because that's why everybody loves watching them,
Yeah.
and that's why they're the biggest talents in the world.
A player like Pedri, I think it would be hard to overcoach because his natural football intelligence is far beyond any youngster I think I've ever seen. See that?
He rates it so well.
It's incredible. Like, he knows. Do you know what, lad? It's literally like looking at a Xavi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you're just watching a younger Xavi.
Yeah.
Like that, those 1-2 touches to be able to take himself out of trouble, and it's like he doesn't even have to lift his head.
No.
Yeah.
He just plays the pass.
It's like he's playing 2 seconds before everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's-
think I seen a tweet and it was something along the lines of like, it's not even fair that Spain are the greatest midfield of all time, and they just hit respawn.
Respawn, yeah, literally. Pathetic, grow up. Like, but it's true. Like, I swear, you're watching Pedro there, and I'm like, I'm just watching a younger version of Xavi play football here at the
Gavi's
minute. Like,
unbelievable too. He's 18, youngest goal scorer ever.
can I be honest with you? I don't really get it with
See, it's
Gavi.
like even Costa Rica.
He's
He's a
18
man of the
now,
match.
Connor.
I don't get it.
Man of the
lad.
match, 18.
Again,
years
like-
age, great volley.
But you know what, lad? We're talking about Rodrigo de Paul and not knowing what he does well. What does
What
Gavi
Gavi
do
does
well?
it, he's good on the ball.
Is he?
And he works hard for the team. Yeah, sure.
Oh,
like I have like
he is,
stats.
he
I have
is.
stats here like he had 90% passing against Costa Rica.
Oh well, I could have 90% passing against Costa Rica. Like,
Yeah, but he scored a class volley.
If it wasn't for your hamstring, lad, you'd be like for Spain, and nobody can tell me always.
you can call me Connor
oh,
Ricardo.
Yeah, 90% passing. Oh, he is a class player.
No, honestly, I don't really get it. Like, I don't really know what he does. Like, I don't think he's anywhere near Pedri. Like, I think
No, but
Pedri's
he's still a top player, like.
10
That's
days
the
better
age
than him.
and stuff as well. He's
Yeah, he's
only
gonna-
18.
he's
He's still got
He's youngest goal scorer in the
years
World
and
Cup
years
since
and
Pele.
years to develop.
I hope he fails.
Youngest
it
goal
out
scorer
there.
in the World Cup since Pele.
Are
Like,
you talking
Unless he
about
comes
School?
back.
he's an unbelievable player.
Yeah, I don't like him.
I think that came across.
Yeah, first. Apologies, Gavi there. I'm not really your
You'd be
biggest
listening
fan,
to me,
to be honest.
There's one listener.
Cheers for listening to the Bottom Bins, Gavi. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, any other teams then you think that are worth a mention at the minute? Any overperformers, underperformers?
I think the Netherlands, in terms of performances anyway, they're underperforming.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with
that'd
that.
be very.
I don't like their manager though. I don't like Van Gaal the way he plays football.
Yeah.
So
Like-
negative.
And do you know what annoys me about the Dutch? They just regenerate their managers. Like,
Let's bring
the
them
Van
back.
Gaal again now, but they're going for Ronald Koeman next.
Koeman, yeah.
Has Ronald Koeman succeeded anywhere as a manager?
Southampton.
He's
But he just took over what Poch had done and he just
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
It's
does the
just-
Netherlands just have like in their FA just have like a wheel in the corner that they just spin?
They spin, yeah.
and throw a dart or something on it.
Yeah. They're like, oh, thank God we missed Frank de Boer this time.
Yeah. I mean, it's back.
They must do, like, they must do.
crazy, like.
It is, it's ridiculous.
It's definitely not a talent issue.
No.
The Netherlands,
No,
like,
no.
Cody Gakpo was playing unreal.
Yeah.
Great to see.
Yeah.
Fantastic footballer.
Because obviously there was a lot of questions about Gakpo coming into this. Is he just doing it in the Eredivisie?
Yeah.
And he's playing in like a more central position now at the World
He
Cup.
seems to be playing attacking midfield rather than up front,
Yeah, just
though.
like
Yeah.
in behind.
Yeah.
in behind him.
Which
I think that
suits
suits him though,
Yeah.
because he has that ability to take the ball on the turn, and he has that ability to turn and sort of drive,
Yeah.
which is again is something that you like to see in young players because you don't want them to stop and think about what they're doing. Whereas he just takes the ball on the half turn and drives it, man. So I love seeing things
Shows
like
his
that.
versatility.
Yeah,
Does.
but again, we were talking about Pedri's game intelligence. I think Gakpo's game intelligence is also
Especially for
very,
a forward.
very good. Yeah,
You don't
Yeah.
often see it in a forward, a young forward. You don't often see the game intelligence like Gakpo so far. But I suppose that does come with his versatility, being able to play across the front three and even behind the striker.
yeah.
So fair play to him.
But like, see against Holland or Ecuador, very impressive too. I thought. I
Who,
thought they just-
Gakpo or just
no
Holland?
Ecuador? No, Ecuador's the team.
Oh,
I've
Ecuador.
been impressed with Ecuador.
Yeah, I thought they should have won the game. They're far better
Yeah.
team. Valencia's obviously scored so many goals. It's going to be key now him because he's maybe injured and he'd be a massive miss. Like,
Yeah,
he
he
scored
will
their
be
last 6 World Cup goals.
Yeah.
Like he's been
Scored
unbelievable.
3
But I do
already.
think
He's joint top scorer.
Holland
for
have
that
definitely
later.
underperformed, and I think Ecuador.
Overperformed.
Yeah.
They, it's,
Do you think they'll win the group?
No.
no, because they've got the hardest game. Senegal, like Holland.
Will they go through? Do you reckon? though?
Oh yeah, they'll go through. They'll go through. But
Yeah.
I think see against England, they could give them a serious game. They could beat England.
If they're at full strength, I think.
Yeah,
they would.
I
give
think
them a good game.
I think I predicted. I think Ecuador to go through the group over Senegal. I think Mane's been a massive miss
So
for
Massive
Senegal.
miss, yeah.
you don't think Senegal will beat Ecuador then? No.
I think Ecuador.
Well, look, the Dutch are going to top that group anyway.
Yeah, Qatar last game.
they'll probably
smash them.
run 4 or 5.
They'll look
Qatar.
make us
Like
look stupid.
Qatar.
They'll score like 6 goals. They'll look really exciting.
Qatar.
I know again Qatar who were
Yes,
beat by
Qatar.
Linfield, like
I know. That's it.
pre-season friendly, and
Or Qatar like the
Linfield.
worst.
They've
Qatar are
been
definitely the
lost
worst
1-0.
hosts ever.
Ah, they've been horrible.
The worst hosts ever.
They're
Yeah.
so far the only host not won a game.
I keep seeing tweets all over Twitter about Qatar. Oh, Qatar wouldn't even be in this World Cup unless we're hosting it. Obviously, are you
brilliant.
Fuck, give me that impression.
Well, they weren't going to qualify on merit, like, because they're absolutely corrupt.
Oh, they're
Like-
brutal.
They actually, for about 15 minutes against Senegal, they were actually alright.
No, fair play to them.
No, I get-
15
yeah.
minutes.
I know, fair play.
I could be good for 15 minutes against Senegal.
Connor, I said it once, I say it again. If you hadn't tore your hamstring, you'd be lining up for
You'd
that
be
Qatar team.
Call me Connor Al Richards.
Oh, they're so bad.
They are. Well, look,
brutal.
it's a good thing we've mentioned Qatar here, because I'll move on to the topic I really wanted to talk about here. Look, last week we talked about, and the week previous we talked about some of our favourite World Cup memories and what the World Cup meant to us as football fans. Look, I'm not going to lie, lads, I've been severely
Disappointed.
unimpressed
Disappointed,
and
yeah.
disappointed with,
Yeah.
with this tournament so far, to be honest. I think the standard of football's been brutal.
Yeah.
The games
Very
haven't been...
negative as well. Like
it's negative football.
Negative football.
Look, there's a number of factors I think filter in this. I just want to get your opinions on these. The first one I want to get an opinion on is, look, it's a World Cup halfway through a season. Do you reckon that has any sort of bearing on why games have been so poor?
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Of course it has. Sure, look at the calibre of players that are injured. Like we were talking about Mane and Benzema and Cuckoo and stuff like that there. But I do think this World Cup's been entertaining to a degree. I still have the World Cup feeling, which is a bit weird. I didn't think
Yeah.
I would. I didn't think I would be as invested in this World Cup as I actually have been. Especially considering the timing and all the stuff about Qatar and whatever. But although, yes, we've had disappointing results and a lot of nil-nils, I do think it is down to being mid-season and they're not being full-strength international teams with a lot of preparation.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Preparation's key, because see that you got that time, you play them friendlies. Like England didn't even play a friendly, this was straight into the game.
So
So-
focus for players for the World Cup's been about a week.
Yeah.
That was the gap between
I know it was just
Your
it was the
season-
Sunday to the Sunday.
the
Yeah.
season stopping and the World Cup starting.
And then you have to take into consideration the climate out there as well.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing, we were talking about it of course with the England camp and they had to go over to the air conditioners and stuff.
yeah.
Like that's a lot for somebody who's just came out of an intense half season. Probably the most intense half season that we've had in football because of this World Cup, with all
Yeah.
the Champions League group stage and all
So many
games
games.
already being played and that. I think that's a lot to ask of a player, or of all the players to be honest, to go and adjust their body to that climate and all as well. It's difficult. like,
Especially
so
the
you have to-
weather back here.
Oh,
where
aye,
that
of
is
course. It's such a
difference.
contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to give credit to the players, despite the performances. Like obviously, it's easy to say from a fan's perspective that it's been disappointing and stuff, but
Yeah.
it is hard. I think it's hard on the players.
And today there's been so many goals, so
Yeah. It's been crazy.
maybe it'll get better as it goes on. More games people play.
Well, let's hope so.
I
Hopefully,
feel
like,
I'll get a bit more of an interest, a bit more excitement when we get to the knockout stages.
Yeah.
Just even the way the groups have been going, a lot of the groups are nearly almost kind of half decided going into the final match day.
Yeah.
Like you're looking at groups there, like you know England's going to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the Dutch are going to go through. Like the groups are starting to get decided quite early. Like Portugal win the night, they're through.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the groups are being decided after 2 match days, which you lose that wee bit of excitement going into the final day.
Yeah.
Like obviously you have groups like the Germany, Spain, Costa Rica, Japan group
The Morocco group.
that technically everybody can go through.
Can
and
still go
Morocco's
through.
group
Morocco
as
group.
well.
Yeah.
But as you said, it's just you just don't. I haven't had that proper excitement that I remember feeling like back in South Africa and Brazil and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Even maybe at the timing of the games as well, like 10 o'clock game. I don't know. I think I've watched about 3 10 o'clock games so far.
Yeah.
So
That's
sleep
awkward for
past
us
10
obviously.
o'clock.
Yeah. Well, like you wouldn't even say there's been any exciting 10 o'clock games so far. Like, you know,
No.
there's none that's
Today,
made you,
that was
yeah.
Today that
Like,
was
there's
it.
been 3 really exciting games. Ghana's been involved in 2 of them actually. The Ghana South Korea game,
Yeah.
the Ghana Portugal game, and then Cameroon on Serbia today as well.
Yeah.
Were the 3 really exciting games.
Yeah.
Other than that, like what was you said to me yesterday? 26 games or something.
Aye,
Have
that were
been
nil half time. Like
That's
that's
crazy.
that's terrible. Like I don't know. I've just found, like, personally, like I know, Oren, you were saying there about having the World Cup feeling. I don't, to be honest.
You don't
Like
have it?
I don't have it, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I said it in last week's podcast. Like I'd much rather be covering the Premier League than covering
Oh, of
I
course.
totally agree with that.
Yeah,
than
no, I
covering the
agree.
World Cup.
Champions League, Premier
Like,
League,
yeah.
forward.
Would you see if this was in the summer? Is it just because it's in Qatar and obviously the circumstances surrounding it, or if this was in the summer, do you think you would have the World Cup feeling?
Yeah, I think if it was in the summer, I'd be far more pumped up for it.
Yeah.
But I think the fact even that it is in winter, don't get me wrong, it's cool having the World Cup on in the uni house, like, but I don't know, it just doesn't really. It's like Owen was saying, like, in Brazil 2014, you had the feeling.
It's not
Yeah.
Russia
tradition. It's not
2018,
tradition,
you
like-
had the feeling. Like,
Like-
I don't really care about
your
this one.
Your club season's still in the back of your head.
Yeah,
I know.
Like, I know I'm watching games, and obviously I'm Sports Celtic, so there's not as many Celtic players involved.
Yeah.
But I'm like watching Juranovic the World Cup, and like, don't get injured. That's all I can think of.
No, I feel
Players
like-
might be thinking that too. Though.
no, genuinely, I feel the exact same way. I'm
Because-
watching games going,
Don't get injured.
don't you come back.
Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm thinking the same
when
thing.
the
yeah.
World Cup squads were announced, and I'd seen Hatate and Kyogo weren't in the Johan squad, I was like, that's so unfair. I feel so bad for them. And I took a step and I was like, I'm not going to get injured. Happy days.
Happy days.
That's why
yeah.
Martial as well. I was kind of happy he didn't go.
Aye, that he didn't go.
Kind of like, I don't want you getting injured.
Yeah.
We need you because they're going to be back, especially them bigger nations. You're going to be back straight into club.
Yeah.
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 Straight into like
When's the World Cup final?
21st
Of December?
of December, yeah.
and like the wins
Boxing Day.
Boxing Day. And there's League Cup
Five-
games on, isn't there? As well?
The
Five-
Scottish
5 day
League.
turnaround.
The Scottish League's back before the World Cup final then.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the Scottish League is back, I think, on the 18th of December.
How long? Let me just double check that to be sure. I don't want to say something and then
But
it not be
even
right.
if it is like a week's break or whatever, like you're literally going
Yeah.
from, like, obviously there's not going to be too many players in the Scottish League's going to be in a World Cup final.
Yeah. I
But-
think it. I
Oh,
think
no,
it might.
sorry, it's the 18th.
But I think
So, like,
the
even
League
still-
Cup, is back on that Tuesday.
Is it?
Yeah. So you're straight into it,
like, and even
that's crazy.
there doesn't seem to be the same buzz in Qatar either as there was in other countries.
Yeah.
You're not seeing social media, people out in the streets having the crack.
Yeah.
Obviously, the drinking
They
and
can- well,
stuff is
yeah.
an issue there as well. Like,
They can't really have too much fun, to be honest. Like,
yeah, like it's just and the price of
atmosphere
Qatar.
as well.
so
You
expensive.
look at the stadiums.
Yeah.
There's nobody in them.
No.
You have a stadium that
But the
holds.
full attendances, lad.
Oh,
But sure,
you
I-
have a stadium that holds 60,000. There's 253,000
Aye,
people in it.
Yeah.
that's what they're saying.
I couldn't believe that, though, to be honest. Like, why would you make up attendances? Like,
I don't understand.
I don't
that.
know.
what's the
When
point
you can
in
see the
that?
empty
Like,
seats, it's like,
people
how
have
stupid do you think people are?
people have eyes. Like,
yeah.
Do you think it's because like somebody's obviously bought that ticket? Apparently, people have had trouble getting into the stadium as well.
Oh, really?
ID and stuff, yeah.
yeah. Well, like
Like that's.
I know.
The average time or something's like 33.
Do you remember like
minutes.
they done that one time in
To get,
Emirates
just
or
to get
something?
in and get to your
Yeah,
seat?
yeah.
That's
Do
brilliant.
you remember one time in the Emirates? It was like there was 60,000 seat stadium. There was really 30,000 in it, but they were like, "Oh, there was 60,000 seats sold."
Yeah,
so
no,
it
that,
counts.
that's the way. That's how
Yeah.
they do.
That's how they're
counts.
doing it, like.
I know, the way Celtic do it. I seem to keep bringing it back to Celtic, but I know, like if you have a season ticket, you're at the game no matter what.
Yeah.
So it'll always come up. There's 59,000 people at the game today, and you can look at see 10,000 empty
sections.
seats.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the season ticket holders have bought their tickets.
Yeah.
So technically they're in attendance.
Yeah.
So it's probably something similar to that. That once the ticket's sold, they count that.
Aye, they count that
as
as.
attendance,
Yeah.
but it still doesn't explain why an 80,000 seater stadium has 88,000 people in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the one I couldn't get over. It was one of the first games of the World Cup, and it was literally a 40,000
Yeah.
seater, and they'd announced that there was like 47,311 people there. I was like, where are you
Well,
pulling the
where's that
extra
coming out of?
7,000 people?
Aye.
And then the camera pans over the stadium, and there's full sections that aren't filled, and you're kind of like,
is there people?
what?
Is there people just chilling on, like, standing on the sideline, like,
Yeah.
like an old Sunday League match? Everybody sitting there, go on there, young man. Sorry, young fella. I'd be out beside you if I hadn't done the knee in back in '92, there, young man.
That's like Richie, but I said again, if he hadn't pulled his hamstring.
What could you have been? Lad?
What could I have been? Killian
One of the
Richards.
best. Do you think the host being poor though is another factor?
I don't know, lad.
Because you were saying like Stanford,
It's just, I just think
Brazil
it's
and
a,
all were decent, and
It's not exactly as Owen would say the cream of the cream of the
No,
World Cup, like,
no.
is it?
no,
It's far from the cream of the cream.
it's not like.
so
It's not even the cream of the crop, lad.
No, it's not even.
I just think it's boring. Like, I just think you turn most matches on and you're bored to tears. Like,
Yeah, like you're on Twitter after 5 minutes.
yeah.
yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe if Ireland were in it, we'd be more invested. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe because our country's not in it,
Well,
we're maybe not as invested. But don't get me wrong. Like, I still like to watch the best teams in the world play one another. So yes, maybe when it does get to knockout stage
That's it.
time, maybe you do get a wee bit more excited then. But then part of me is like, but when it gets to knockout, that's when teams are going to start playing tactical.
It'll get even more defensive.
And games will
Yeah,
not
you're
open
right.
up, and then you'll be bored to tears even
Yeah.
more. Like, you think games like Brazil and Germany, the 7-1, like, that's a rarity.
Yeah.
That's a
That's a
one.
freak result.
That's a once in a blue moon type thing.
You're going to get the stage where the only interesting thing's penalties.
Yeah.
Like
I
I
know
remember,
that
I remember
absolutely.
watching the Euros last year, and was it Ukraine and the Czech Republic maybe
Yeah.
were playing the worst game of football I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
It was
that-
horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching extra time, and it's like by 5 minutes going, goes, right, at least I'm going to get a bit of excitement from penalties out of it, and fucking Conor score.
That's one of
I
the worst
was
games ever.
fuming. It was the worst game of football I've seen.
Bianca too.
Damn you, Conor.
All I wanted to see was a penalty shootout for a bit of crack, and no, Conor Bianca had to score.
No, I don't
Shout
know.
out to Conor Bianca if you're watching the Bottom Bins podcast.
Yeah, damn you, Conor Bianca.
There's 2 viewers going now. Gabby and Conor
Gabby and
Bianca.
Conor Bianca. Never
Havertz
seen-
Havertz is going too.
No, he's,
He's
he's on the fence. He's on the fence. No, look, like I said, lads, look, it's good to get your input on this, like, because I just wanted to know, even, look, listeners at home, you tell us how you're feeling about the World Cup as well. I just don't feel like it has the same World Cup feel to it. I just feel like the games have been crap, to be honest. And I'm waiting for the tournament to finally open up and show us some of those World Cup moments. Like, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I can't even sit here and think of, like,
Hasn't been really great.
there's not really been
individual goals,
great
or-
individual
Yeah, well,
moments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
minus Richarlison's goal.
Goal,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Aldo Sorry.
Abby McClure today was.
Yeah,
It literally was, I'm offside in FIFA, I'm just going to shoot.
yeah.
And then the
Yeah,
Campbell
that was
celebration.
class.
Yeah.
Hunter Abubi Kiarba.
Yeah,
What a legend.
Compared, like, you know, you think of 2014 and 2018, yes, the tournament's still on and we're only 2 games in, but, like,
It was every game you were
you
getting
can,
a
you
moment.
can
Yeah.
list
In
a
Russia,
whole
there was
host.
only 1-0 in the group stage.
Was there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the difference. Like, there's been like 5 or 6 already.
Like, it's just
The only thing this World Cup has going for it, I think, is a lot of the smaller nations are really impressing. Not just because of the results they're getting, but
Yeah.
the football they're playing. Like, we talked about a wee bit about them earlier on. Saudi Arabia are playing great football.
Yeah.
Canada's playing great football. Morocco's playing great football.
Yeah.
It's not these teams getting results because they're sitting back and absorbing and getting a lucky break of the ball.
Yeah.
They're going out to play teams that
Yeah.
traditionally are better than them. And it's really good to see.
It is, yeah.
Even the Japan-Germany game was a great game of football. And then Japan went and lost to Costa Rica a week later.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I know.
some of the results they've thrown up have been mad.
I've been weird, yeah.
That's the great thing about the World Cup. But as you said, there just hasn't been those moments. You sit back and you're just like, wow. Like, there hasn't been a shabalala.
No, there hasn't.
No.
There hasn't. And do you know what? I think the only thing is the clubs might be a wee bit happy about the World Cup being in the winter is because transfer fees in January might
Inflate.
Big boost.
might inflate a wee bit.
Yeah.
Like,
United's paying 10 million more for Cody Gakpo this week than they were last week 'cause he scored 2 goals.
yeah,
Exactly.
5 million for every goal.
yeah, probably. Yeah, look, I think we'll wrap it up there, to be honest. And then obviously next week we'll have more games to cover as well next week, and we can give you a wee sort of, well, by this time next week we'll know who's qualified, and yeah.
I think last 16 starts Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. So we
we'll have a
can,
knockout preview for you
Yeah.
in the next couple of days or
Yeah.
a week or whatever it is.
Just want to say, because we touched on it at the start of the video, we are very proud to announce that we have signed on with Parlay Sports as founding members of the app. Parlay it's an up and coming brand, and they promote inclusivity and non-hatred in their conversations, and would love you to join us on the Parlay Sports app and join in with our conversation.
and it's really, really easy for you guys at home. All you have to do is, look, unfortunately it's not out in Android yet, but it's on the Apple App Store. So if you download the app, it's literally Parlay Sports, PRLY Sports. If you download the app there, all you do is you follow people that you would wish to have conversations with. You start the video, you send an invite to those people, kind of similar to the way you would do a
Zoom
Facebook
call.
Messenger
Yeah.
or a Zoom voice chat. And you can come in. It's a 6.5 minute video. You talk about whatever topic you want to talk about. You set your preference, you set your team, and you have your conversation. It's as simple as that. And it's a really good way to get your football opinions
It's really
out there.
fun to do. Like,
Yeah, it's fun to use. It's a good app, and
it's
you know,
easy to use as well.
it's very accessible. And listen, there's no encouragement of hatred. Everybody is out to share their football opinions with one another. And look, at the end of the day, everybody's entitled to their football
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Nobody's football opinion is more important than anybody else's.
It encourages healthy debate.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so
That's it. And it encourages fan bases from different clubs to get in contact with one another as well. You know, I know there's plans for us to do a couple of videos maybe in a few weeks' time with a few fans from other football clubs. So listen, Go in there, share your debates, share your conversation, share your topics that you wish to talk about. It's a fun app. And really, we really hope and we think that it's going to be the future of football conversation. And we believe that that's the way football conversation is heading. So head on over to the Apple App Store and download the Parlay Sports app today.
And we'd love to see you there.
And you'll get to see our beautiful faces, not just our lovely voices.
I'd also like to say a few of us are sick on this podcast today, so our voices might be a bit out of there. Mine included.
Apologies, I've tried so hard not to cough this entire podcast, and
I
I mean,
switch my mic on and off the entire
it's
time.
sitting in my throat right now. All I want to do is absolutely into this mic.
So obviously there is something going about again, but we decided to persevere and get our content out.
Not be divas.
Not be divas.
I just crack on.
Some just
So
get through some serious challenges and people don't understand the work. I haven't had a drink of water in about 45 minutes.
Well, yes, thank you for listening.
Yes, once again, thank you for all your support. Honestly, I'm still completely blown away with the support that we're receiving.
In such a short space of time.
Yeah. It's like I said, and for all you listeners out there, you are the guys that are making it happen for us, but things are just moving very, very quickly for us at the minute. And it is exciting times. Yeah, and listen, look, we have a lot of exciting content that we promise will be coming down the line. We're trying to get a few things organised. The Bottom Bins Extra channel that we started last week, we're going to try and absolutely fill that with content. And that's going to be content on a lot of things. If you're from the north of Ireland, if you're from Ireland in general, we are going to have a lot of local football content that we're going to be uploading there as well. We're hoping to get a few interviews with a few managers. We're also going to be talking about university football. I'm hoping to get a few of my teammates from the university team in to talk about university football. And we're also going to get people in to talk about local leagues as well and talk about grassroots football here in Ireland. And we're
big plans.
We have massive plans. We're hoping as well that Parlay is going to help us lead to chatting to some big players and some big names, and to work with the big clubs that we can hopefully then deliver you just the best content that we can possibly deliver. So look, all we would say is thank you so much for all the early support, and please just keep listening, and if you can, please share us on your socials. Please get us out there, and we're trying to hit as many people as we possibly can.
That's what it is. Like, we started this to have a conversation with fans just like us. We want you to be as much of the conversation as the four of us sitting here. Like, we want you to feel part of this conversation, and we hope that we're encapsulating that in our content. So yeah, you'll see us on YouTube, Spotify, and now the brand new Parlay Sports app.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, folks.